What? Yeah, okay. What? Hey guys, welcome back to this channel. I'm like, what? I've gotten somebody sent me an email regarding more information for Uber driving here in Sydney, and I'll answer them as much as I can while my wife is the one that is holding the camera and reading out the questions for me.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any questions, by all means, write them in the comment below or send me an email, and I'll try to answer them as much as I possibly can. Well, we have the time.
Okay, question one.
Go.
All these from Tommy. What other locations should pick up passengers to the airport?
There's no specific location to be picking up passengers to the airport. It's more like timing. First thing in the morning, there's bound to be a lot of tourists that is going to the airport, especially more like weekday or weekend. I'd say up to about 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. A bulk of my income was just going in and out of the airport. If it's Monday to Friday, there's a lot of service apartment, like Meriton Apartments, and as a sample, they do a lot of pick up and drop, more like a lot of drop off to the airport. So usually a lot of business people as well, they're bound to go to the airport. That's in the morning, and in the afternoon, mostly business people, roughly about 3, 4 and 5 o'clock or so. Domestic people, domestic flight, a lot of them bound to go home, especially on a Friday night or Friday afternoon. So next one.
Number 2. What time on Friday and Saturday nights is good to pick up passengers finish the clubbing?
I personally don't like picking up clubbing passengers, intoxicated passengers, purely the fact that they're going to make there's a high risk of them going to make a mess in your car. So I try to avoid that Friday, Saturday night clubbing time zone, let's say. However, if I have to pick up, if I really want to, then I'll do it at 5 a.m. in the morning on Saturday morning. The reason why 5 a.m. is this: one, majority of the club out there is already bound to be closed, or they're already shut for about a few hours or so. Two, the alcohol is already been observed in the blood system, so they're not going to be as rowdy. They tell you a lot of regret that they did. They always say like, oh, I drank too much and all that. Three, there's less chances of them making a mess in your car. So, and they'll be less demanding as well.
Yeah.
Because I realize, like, when people are drinking, they're not themselves. Okay, you gotta see that. Like that's not the usual self, and I found that they're a bit rowdy because they're a lot more demanding, and I kind of don't like that. I'd rather have the relaxed, easygoing type of passengers, because it's not worth it. I mean, it's not worth it when they're really demanding on you. So, anyway, next question.
Number 3. What time is good to pick up passenger from Sydney Domestic Airport?
To be honest with you, I don't pick up any passengers at the domestic airport. In the condition of because you got that queuing system, you can figure out how many cars in front of you. Like, I don't hang out in the waiting bay area in domestic airport, because the way I look at it is this: if there's 20 cars or more in front of you, so in your queuing system it says 20, like 30, 40, 50, anything above 20, then you'll be waiting more than 10 minutes. If you're waiting more than 10 minutes, it'll be better off if you drive somewhere for 10 minutes, and you're bound to get higher chance of getting a passenger instead of hanging around at the waiting bay. So I don't pick up anyone at all in domestic airport.
Next one, how about international?
Same thing. International, it's
Like what time if you have to pick up? If you have to.
well, I try to avoid pickup at international or domestic.
Okay. What about very in the morning? Because you know international airport normally everyone coming in the early morning.
Well, for me, it's this, right? Getting to that pickup location alone, it's so hard. It's a waste of time because, like, the traffic light is, it takes so long just to get into the international alone, like the international pickup. Sometimes it can take you about half an hour. I've done a couple of times where I drop off and then get a pickup straight away, but that in the condition that is, again, less than 20 cars in front of you. But most of the time, I don't really pick up anyone at the international or domestic. So for me, it is a lot more. You get a lot more productivity if you actually drive outside of that waiting bay for domestic or international pickup. So.
Okay. Number 5. What brand of fuel is? What brand of fuel do you use for your car?
The cheapest one. So back in the days, I was driving a diesel. So I mind you though, I had to. Well, this is my second car, let's say. So a diesel car. So I don't have any options. So I have to fill up diesel. Now these days, I just put down an E10, which is the cheapest one there is. And I don't go based on the momentum card. I just go around whichever one that is actually cheapest at that particular moment in time.
Yeah, download the app.
Oh yeah, I download the app. What was the name of the app?
Fuel Check.
Yeah, Fuel Check. I will put it down in the description. That way you can figure out. I usually looked at that app pretty much before I fill up, or within the vicinity, whichever one's got the cheapest E10. So I don't go 98, I don't go in any of those because it's a working car. Like, to me, fuel is the less I guess expenses that I can think of, if that's the word. Like, that's not my priority as long as it's filled up and it's the cheapest one at the time. Next question.
Next one. What model of car do you drive?
So now, so beforehand I was driving Hyundai i30 wagon diesel. That was a good car because of the boot. The good car for fuel consumption. I think on an average is averaging about $10 to $15 per day that I fill up.
And how many hours do you drive a day?
Oh, I'd go roughly about 10-hour days back in the days. These days I don't drive as much. I drive Hyundai Accent, a hatchback, not a sedan. And these days I don't drive full time anymore. I don't recommend to do that. And these days, if it's not that, then actually no. If it's not that car, if it's not Hyundai Accent, I don't really use the other car anymore.
What do you mean?
Beforehand, I used to have this car, the Honda CR-V.
Yeah.
Fuel consumption wise, it's so bad.
Oh yeah. This is the family car with the kids.
This now become the family car.
Yeah.
Hence why it's a little bit messier, and you probably don't see the windscreen as clear.
No, it's not clear.
So, next question.
Do you use Uber Map or Google Map to navigate?
Navigate, I use the Uber Map because purely in the look at that taxi.
What is red light? Police!
All of that so that he can stop. Can you see that? No.
I don't know. Anyway. I think so. Maybe I did record it.
So which mapping do I use when I drive? So personally, I would rather use Waze. Personally, but when I drive for Uber or ride-sharing app, I go whichever ride-sharing. Well, actually, okay. So if I drive for Uber, when I drive for Uber, I use Uber Map, purely in the sense of. Excuse me. Purely of the sense of the Uber Map is exactly what the passengers see. That's it.
Yeah, you make a wrong turn, just blame on the app.
Exactly.
app.
If the map taking you the long way, you could just say, listen, this is what the map shows me. I'm just following wherever the blue line on the map. So that way it minimizes that, I guess, the complaint. Because they do watch, some of them anyway, I can sense it when passengers actually watch the exact street that you're going into. If you're doing one wrong street, it minimizes that anxiety for the passengers. So what question are we up to?
We are number I'm not 7.
7. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Next question.
Do passengers have the right to eat or drink in your car?
So for that is actually at your discretion. Okay, so I get it, like some passengers do bring their food in the car, depending on at the well, I guess for what you feel like at the time. If they ask nicely, then yeah, I don't mind them. But if they have open bottle alcohol, then I say no thanks. No, I don't want that open bottle alcohol left in my car.
Or spill.
And the spill as well. So like lunchtime, when you can tell that's an office people and they're in a rush because they had like a meeting between between places and whatnot, then I don't mind that. But on a Saturday, I purely, or on the weekend, let's say, or Friday night or Saturday, if they have alcohol, forget it. I'm not gonna take you. Like if you want to drink your alcohol, drink it outside. Finish the alcohol, then get into my car. But yeah, lunch, I don't mind. Alcohol, I do mind. And that's at your discretion. Like I've cancelled a couple of people because they have like a bottle open bottle before they're getting in, and I tell them no thanks. Like there's other cars out there that are willing to take you, but I'm not willing to risk the spillage and you leaving the rubbish in the car. So
really tough. Number 9, do passengers have right to use your car's Apple CarPlay if you have one?
Like again, that one there, it's at your discretion.
Try to get a car without that.
I always tell them this. Listen, this car doesn't have it. Or if not, I go, mate, I don't know how to use the settings. Because it's a pain, like, you know, to fiddle around, put down the setting, because majority of the time they're only going to be there for about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes anyway. And I know for sure the people that want to use those, it will bound to be on a Friday or Saturday, or the weekend, let's say, when they just want to go out and have a party and have a good time. Like, for me, it's like, it's a pain, and you know, here you are trying to drive and try to figure out the best way I found is this. Look, you can use it, but I have to stop and you know, synchronize your phone to my car and all that jazz. That might take a while because I haven't done it for a while, or something along those lines that put them off. When they go, oh, that's okay, they probably end up using the radio instead. So it minimizes your fiddling around with the, and you know, you tell them, look, I can help you with that, but we need to stop somewhere safe. You can fiddle around, you can, you know, set up your phone and everything, because they look at it, okay, that's too much of a hard basket, and they probably won't even bother. So
last one, do you make more money to drive passenger to or from airport or to or from clubbing?
Airport or clubbing? I'd say clubbing, because with clubbing you're bound to go like back to back from one spot to another spot to another spot, whereas airport, you're definitely going to get out of the airport empty. So yeah, definitely will be clubbing the one that is actually going to give you more money. Because like right now where we are, where are we? Oxford Street. No, somewhere in Kings. Okay.
Oxford Street.
Yeah, it is. I don't even know where I am. And you know, like there's a lot of nightclub around, so you're bound to stop somebody in here, and then you're probably gonna get another passenger down the road, and then get another one. Whereas airport, once you drop them off, you're gonna drive for about 10 to 15 minutes to get to the nearest suburb, and then you got another one. So as a whole, you shouldn't look at Uber. You should look at this as a side hustle. Don't try to do this full time. Try maximize it in a sense of using the the go-to function. Like if you're going somewhere, then yeah. If you're, don't look at it as a a full-time gig, let's say. Not recommended for a full-time gig. Anyway, those are the 10 questions.
That's it. Yep.
Cool. So don't forget to subscribe, comment, guys, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Cheers, bye.
Where?
Okay. By the way, this is I guess a bonus for you. If you're looking at airport as your primary, don't look at that as your primary income. If you live in the suburb, I don't live in the suburb. I live in the heart of the city. Like my house proximity to Central Station is about 15 minutes drive. So I know when I become a passenger, I asked another Uber driver. Like what they did was, first thing in the morning, because they live in a suburb, you're looking at about 45 minutes away or an hour away from this from the city. Like first thing in the morning, you turn it on, and then you put that navigate to the airport. So that's as your work, let's say. So that way he knows for sure he's going to get a passenger that is only going to that vicinity, like going to that direction. So especially if you do live in the suburb, that might be a good option for you, because you can actually use it twice a day, that navigating, like to your workplace or home place. So I would take the advantage of that first thing in the morning, navigate to the airport or navigate to the city. And there's another Uber car in front of me. So by the way, this is not a good car to drive for Uber.
Why?
Toyota Camry. What? It's luxury. A lot of people drive this for Uber driving. I found it that, look.
He doesn't have a sticker.
He doesn't. Yeah. Anyway, what I don't look at it is this, because the value of that car, it's about what, 25-30 grand or something. Whereas the car that I drive is about 10 grand, 15 grand, half of that. So it's a bit out of topic, but if you're earning $1,000 a week, so that means it would take you 40 weeks before you recoup the Toyota Camry capital. About 30 weeks, sorry, if it's 30 grand. Whereas mine is only takes about 15 weeks to recoup my capital. So back to what I was talking about. If you live in a suburb, turn around first thing in the morning. I'm talking about crack of dawn, because first thing in the morning there are bound to be people going to the airport from the suburb. I remember when I was in Ryde, I think it was like going at about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And yeah, you're bound to get somebody that is going international at that early morning. And it's worth it, because sometimes you can get about $100 worth of ride on just that one passenger. But don't rely on that as well. Don't rely on airport run is your main bulk of your income. It's more like I'd rather have the short trips. I'd rather have the the $10 trips, $10-15 trips, because you're bound to get another passenger straight away after that. Whereas the long distance trip, like from the airport to Penrith, for example, or somewhere far away, like an hour away from the CBD, yes, it's $100 that you're getting an income, but at the same time you probably have to go somewhere closer to the city or closer to the next CBD, but you gotta go there empty. So I remember one day that I picked up somebody from the city and we had to go to Penrith. Great, one-way ticket, $150 or $100, I think it was, like a big lump sum. Yeah, by the time I get there, I don't get any passengers for about an hour or two. So, and on top of that, I have to drive empty back to the city. That's pretty cool. So yeah, any other questions, Mark?
No.
Cool. Alrighty. So yeah, see you guys later. Peace.